Faces on paper, curled at the edges, names said once and swallowed by time. Rooms went quiet, streets moved on. Something about this never died. Cold hands on cold files, dust where the truth should be. Every lie leaves a footprint, every monster bleeds eventually. For the missing that never came home, for the cases they tried to forget, for the killers counting days in the dark, thinking they're done with that. We keep digging, keep the light on.
All right. Happy Sunday to you all. My name is 12 Gauge, and this is my channel, 12 Gauge Investigative. Thank you so much for being here. If this is your first time, I hope that you enjoy what we create at this channel. Let me say hello to my first chatter, Common Sense. Thank you for being here. Today we're gonna follow some of these stories out of Dallas, Texas. But before I do that, I want to give you guys a little bit of good news. The individual, Lawrence Michael Teague, has been found safe. His mother is reunited with him. He was found yesterday, and she gave him a call. He reached out to her. He was found by the police. She reached out, went to Dallas to pick him up, and he was found. That is some great news, because very seldom do we hear such a joyous outcome, especially after a year, because we do know that after the first 48 hours is the most important time of any kind of disappearance. So that is that is wonderful news on that case. So Lawrence is home. So let's start off with the first body cam. And we'll talk about this a little bit, because these are always interesting to me. Whether you enjoy them or whether you don't, I just want you to come in, have a good time, chat if you want, and just hang out. Nothing else is asked of you but to be respectful. So here we go.
Body camera video shows a violent and deadly encounter between police officers and a man who shot 4 people.
Shooting happened overnight Sunday, early Monday morning outside a nightclub in downtown Dallas. Fox 4's Stephen Dial is in studio tonight with more on what we know. Stephen.
Steve, the scene was very chaotic and happened quickly, with officers already on scene responding to a separate incident nearby. Chief Daniel Como says that his officers quickly identified the gunman and, in his words, saved lives. Dallas police already had a significant presence on Commerce Street downtown early Monday morning for a separate disturbance call. Then moments later, this. Dallas Police Chief Daniel Como walked us through the body camera video released.
Whoa, can you imagine being downtown at any event and all of a sudden you start hearing shots going off? Some of you may already have experienced that before, and some of you may have not. If you have experienced that before, then the possibility is that it was a very scary time. It was a very trying time for all the people involved. I can't imagine sitting there and then all of a sudden all those pops start going off.
Wednesday morning.
You see the gunfire, and then it becomes very chaotic all of a sudden. People running every which way. The officers were able to identify where the gunshots were coming from.
Investigators say the gunman, 31-year-old Kedrick McDonald, walked up on the crowd and shot 27-year-old Zameed Cox, who was inside a car. Police say McDonald then...
There he is right there in the circle. That is brazen. That is brazen to say the least. To know that police are in the area and you still walk up and shoot somebody in their car, that's pretty brazen.
Fired more shots, hitting 3 other people. Dallas police officers were nearby in response to a backup call from other officers working off-duty security jobs. Police say McDonald pointed his gun at officers. They fired shots, killing him. Police highlighted moments in the video where they say McDonald
Right here, he has his hand up. I don't know what he's saying, but one thing for certain, if you just shot somebody in a car, you think they're going to let you just walk brazenly to them and say, oh, okay, come on up. Let's talk to you. Bro, he has a gun. I don't know whether you're an advocate of the police or if you're one of those individuals that does not really like the police or agree with what they do. But tell me what you would do in this situation. Tell me what you would do. You had just heard this guy pop off some rounds. He points his gun at you, and then he has his hand up as in to say, oh, I'm not going to do anything. They blurred the gun out, obviously, right here. What would you do? Would you fire your weapon if that was what you were trained to do? All these what ifs and what might have been and shoulda, woulda, coulda. This is life and death right here. A decision that you need to make on the fly and very quick.
seen holding the gun. You could hear the reaction from officers moments after the shooting.
He shot. He was shooting at him.
He shot the individual in the vehicle, and then he shot 3 more. He started running towards officers with a gun pointed directly at officers. Officers gave him verbal commands to drop the weapon. He didn't. They fired.
Chief Como said 3 were taken to the hospital. All had non-life-threatening injuries.
Anything can happen out there, and I felt like the officers did an outstanding job being able to contain that one gunman and get everything under control and basically take his life because he was trying to take others.
Court documents showed that McDonald had an aggravated assault with a deadly weapon charge from 2021. The DA's office dismissed it because the victim was uncooperative. He also had prior misdemeanors. Stephen, Heather.
All right, Stephen Dylans.
Okay, so once again, what would you have done in that situation?
So now
what would you have done in that case when you have a gun pointed at you? Would you just stand there and ask questions, or are you going to respond, especially when the perpetrator is pointing his gun at you? Here's another case. Here we go.
You look at newly released body cam video showing how chaotic it was in the moments leading up to a police shooting. Matt Howerton pieces together all these multiple angles to show us what happened in Dallas.
Ready? A routine day not guaranteed when you're a Dallas cop. Last Thursday, officers zeroed in on this stolen red truck idling in the parking lot of some apartments off Gulf Lakes Trail.
Wow. I think that's a GMC. It looks pretty tough. It like went right over the vehicle and didn't really do much damage to it, but it surely did mess up the police's day. Let's see what happens next.
Ramming and crawling up a squad car when officers moved in. 4 suspects scatter, aside from this guy on the ground underneath the truck. One of the suspects armed with a gun. God! Officer Timothy Steed falls to the ground chasing another suspect. He's got a gun! He's got! That's when he and Officer Gully hear gunfire behind them. The rounds are from Officer Travis Marks, who fires from his Tahoe toward the guy with the Glock. Steed and Gully do an about face. And
I swear, in some of these cities, it's becoming the wild, wild west again. I mean, this is like 2025, wild, wild west. But you know, at least in some of the cowboy movies that I've watched in my time, people just didn't run up on you and start shooting. But it seems to be not the case these days.
Focus on the suspect, 17-year-old Eric Lampkin Scarborough. Steed fires 4 times but misses. Gully then finds the teen shot.
You hit? Yeah, he did. God.
And starts treating him with other officers.
Eric, talk to me, brother.
The teen all right, but taken to the hospital. The driver, Damon Price,
I'm not going to beat him.
is found on site and arrested too.
Get on the
The guy underneath the truck,
Stay on the ground.
19-year-old Deontay Moore, wanted for killing 2 in this convenience store parking lot in March.
God.
Chief Eddie.
See, it's almost like we don't have, as a society, we don't have a semblance for any signs of people's lives. Killed 2 people at a convenience store, and now he's out and about with a weapon, robbing a vehicle.
Garcia says whatever the group was planning or involved in stopped.
Someone is alive today because of the actions of those officers that day.
In Dallas, I'm Matt Howerton.
Wow. Let's go to Baker.
The information, audio, and visuals you are about to see are intended to provide details of an officer-involved shooting, which began on the 13th of June, 2021, at about 3:58 p.m. in the 1500 block of East 3rd Street. Conclusions about the officer's actions with regard to law and policy will not be made until all facts are known and the investigation is complete. An investigation into the use of force is being conducted to determine whether the actions of the officers are in compliance with law, the criminal investigation, and department policy, the administrative investigation. At the conclusion of the criminal investigation, all of the details will be released to the Kern County District Attorney's Office for independent review. Bakersfield Police Department officers are equipped with body-worn cameras.
I left it at home.
Okay. Do you have, because I got to confirm like it's not stolen or anything. Do you have your license on you?
I don't. I don't have it. It's I should put it under my sister's name.
Okay. Do you have a license?
I got my license suspended.
What's your name?
Okay, let me ask you a question. If you were a traffic cop and you were at this type of stop, would it not be intimidating to you just a little bit, no matter how much your adrenaline is flowing? Would it not be a little bit intimidating to know that potentially this individual is armed? Because as I've heard from other officers that are my friends, they say that you have to walk up to certain suspicious vehicles, especially if they have certain cues that are making them suspicious, and you always have to assume that a firearm or some kind of dangerous act is involved, just to be prepared in case it does happen.
What's your last name? Your birthday? Okay. I'm gonna just open the door to get the VIN.
Okay.
Because it's on the door. Okay? Can you write on the back?
126, I'll handle time 578.
Who's in the car with you?
Okay,
Oh, are they able to roll it down? Oh, hi, you guys, man. It should be open. Do you have a license, man? No. Do you know where the VIN is out here?
So already this individual is given a fake name. Hey, April. This individual has given a fake name. He has given no identifying factors. He had no driver's license, no semblance of any kind of identifiable knowledge of who he is, who's in the vehicle, anything like that.
No, it's not tired. It's tired.
Broadcasting the US vehicle 178.
So I want to remind you that this is a shooting that goes on. So be aware that this turned out bad. Thank you so much for the people that are in the chat.
Does anyone with a license able to come?
Yeah, his mother's coming.
Okay. Okay. His mom's coming?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I can't let you drive without a license.
Okay.
If you could give them a call to come, or else like I have to tow the car if you don't have a license. And I don't want to tow your car for 30 days. You have a baby back here.
Yeah.
You know. All right. Well, I'll be right back. Okay.
The officer returned to his patrol vehicle to conduct a records and status check of the vehicle and identifying information the driver provided. The records check revealed that the vehicle was stolen. The name and birth date provided to the officer was fake.
A firm occupied. Driver! Driver! Roll down the window! Turn off the vehicle! Three Metro 1 failure to yield. We're going to be southbound MLK approaching Texas. Speeds are going to be 50, no traffic, no pits. Three Metro 1, we're still southbound MLK. Approaching Brandage. 901T, 901T, Brandage and MLK. 901T, MLK.
Okay, if he's working MLK anywhere, if you've ever lived in any kind of big city or even small cities, MLK is always, for the most part, in my interpretation, has always been the sketchiest areas. But if it's not in your town and you're watching or you're watching on replay, then I apologize for your town. But as far as any area that I've been, yeah, it's pretty sketchy. And you're right, April. Can't believe with a baby in the car they take off. That is totally against anything that a rational person would do, don't you believe?
998!
So the dude is firing a weapon at the vehicle, at the policeman with the baby in the car. And the policeman is firing back. Wow.
Hey! Come here! Come here! 3 Metro 1, 998. We're going to be running. Put the gun down! Put the gun down! Put the gun down! Drop the gun! Drop the gun! Drop the gun! Drop the gun! Come here!
All this in behind a stolen car, mind you. All this behind a stolen car.
3 Metro 1, he's running. Southbound. Drop the gun! Put your hands in the air! 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 Put your... Don't do it, man! Don't do it! Don't do it! Don't do it! Put your hands in the air! Put your hands in the air! Let me see your hands! Stop! Put your hands in the air! Put your hands in the air!
Okay, before we see what eventually happens, yeah, and it's pretty sketchy, April, I agree. Before we see what happens, let me share with me if you believe that the officer is within his legal rights at this point to be firing. Let me give you a little breakdown. This individual fired upon him first, took off running. They're now at a standoff under an underpass. Should this end in a death? Is the officer potentially, based on his body cam video, fearing for his life, or should he try another tactic? He is telling the individual to put the gun down. He is telling him to put the gun down, and the individual is failing to do so. What else could he do different, if anything? Let me know in the chat.
Three Metro and East Hill southbound. He's armed with a firearm. He's running in the middle of the street. He has a firearm in his right hand. Let me see your hands.
We have visual on the path. He's going to be eastbound towards tag now, black shirt, black short.
Hey!
From no shots fired by.
Stop! Get out the car! Get out of this car! Put your hands up! Put your hands up!
Okay, right there. There he is. He's pointing the gun. Do you believe that the officer is within all reason to fire on the suspect? Let me know.
Drop the gun!
Get on the ground!
Drop the gun!
Drop it!
Drop the gun!
Drop it!
Drop the gun! Drop the gun!
998, that is still armed.
Drop the gun!
Subject still armed.
Drop it! Drop the gun! Drop the gun! Drop the gun! Drop the gun! Drop the gun!
Last on location.
Drop the gun!
We're at the airport.
See, they're just not unloading on him. They're telling him to drop the gun. They're ordering him to drop the gun. They're not firing on him like many people suggest. Police officer just unload their weapons on you. That's not true. Here's a situation that it's not happening that way.
Drop the gun! Drop the gun! Drop the gun!
Drop the gun! The subject has the firearm to his head. Drop the gun!
Drop it!
Number 17 to 97. Drop the gun!
Drop the gun!
Keep it pointed in.
Drop the gun!
Robert 5 have medical aid response stage.
Drop the gun!
Turn around.
Drop the gun!
Drop it, dude!
Drop the gun!
As you realize, somebody running from the police with a gun and asking them to harm them or kill them is not normal. You know what I mean? So it's not normal. So think about this situation. Obviously, they're not harming him any further. If they have shot him, they're not firing on him, even though he still had the gun in his possession.
Drop the gun!
Lincoln 5. Lincoln 5 10 for the launch. Overton, confirm status of Air 1.
Drop the gun!
Not bomb.
Drop the gun!
Drop it!
Drop the gun!
Hey, Madrona, you're on point. Talk to him. Everybody else, shut up.
He'll be on Madison and Audrey.
This is such a sad situation. I mean, and this is the side of law enforcement that people don't see all the time. They see the dramatized part that they show on the news, the part that are shown for other reasons, whatever it might be. But this is a body cam video that is showing exactly on the scene. The perpetrator is yelling, "Kill me."
Got rifle? Got rifle. Put it down! Put the gun in! Right down!
Loretta 17, expedite medical aid. All units, let me know. Cover.
And they are obligated to respond with EMS and everything else to try to save the individual's life. They don't sit there and just watch them bleed out, no matter what you might think or understand about the police.
Someone's in his wife's position. Someone's in a driver's seat.
Rifle.
The car's at the intersection. I'm looking.
Madrona, stay where you're at. Do not move. Get cover. All right, you guys. The firearm is down right now. Let's take a breath. Madrid, watch the cover of your muzzle. Come on, bud. Put the firearm down. We do not want to hurt you. Put your gun away. Put the firearm down. We do not want to hurt you.
I mean, can you imagine these situations being a police officer? You're responding to something you don't know really the whole details. You know that the individual was in a stolen vehicle, jumped out of the vehicle, started running, firing at the police officer. They chased each other down, and now they're in the middle of a shopping center. Looks like a taqueria in the parking lot with all these other people at risk. Dangerous situation.
Hands on. My car's at East Calling when I wasn't able to be on park.
Step to your right. You push up. We're not deep
Shutdown code. All remaining units are on shutdown code.
Come on, brother. Put the firearm down. We do not want to hurt you. Everything's going to be all right.
I don't know about you guys, but this is one of the reasons I never became law enforcement, but because of this. Not because I've been fearful. It's just a lot of stress. And somebody that does this, I thank you so much for your service. Or if you know somebody who has ever put their lives at risk for people they don't even know, thank you so much.
Hey, man, I need you to put that gun down. You guys, we cannot let him make it into that store. He's already shot at us, correct?
He shot at me, sir.
Huh?
He shot at me.
All right, we already have a 998 on an officer. Do not let him get into that store. We cannot have a hostage situation. Watch her.
For approximately 5 minutes, officers attempt to get the suspect to drop the firearm and surrender. The store surveillance footage also captures another angle of the events which transpired. The following video is store surveillance, which begins as the suspect raises one hand and begins counting down from 3 before raising the firearm towards officers. At that point, multiple officers fire at the suspect. This video has no audio.
Okay, this is a better view. And there he is with his hands raised. He's counting. He's already on the ground. And you ask yourself, why don't they just bum rush him right there? Bro, he had
Officers
his
rendered
gun.
medical aid to the suspect, and he was transported to an area hospital where he later succumbed to his injuries. A firearm was recovered from the suspect. 6 officers discharged their firearms. All of the officers had activated body cameras. However, due to them utilizing unoccupied vehicles as cover and distance, the video is obstructed. No one else was injured during this event, including the adult female and 2 juvenile passengers in the suspect's vehicle. During the initial shooting, as the suspect fled his vehicle after the collision, the officer's vehicle was struck several times.
Wow. Look at that. So you tell me, everybody that has so much disdain for law enforcement, look at that hole that put in that officer's vehicle, and you're telling me that you're okay with them not firing back? Come on. And I'm not being one-sided here. I'm just asking you a question. If you were standing at the other end of somebody firing a weapon at you, you're just going to want to talk them down? Be honest with me. I don't believe so, but you could be that person. Look at that hole in that door. Obviously, he had a high-powered pistol. Wow. So you're telling me that you'd be okay with somebody shooting at you and causing this much damage on your police vehicle, but yet you don't think it caused that much damage to you? Thank you so much for that, April. I mean, I can't imagine the things that he's seen or heard. Look at that hole in that door. Wow.
This is an ongoing investigation.
Okay, let's move back to Texas. That was outside of Texas, so, but let's look at this one.
A man who got into a gun.
I hope y'all are enjoying this. If you're watching this from afar, please hit the like, subscribe button. You don't obligate to have to pay or be any kind of monetary person to be a part of this channel. I don't expect any kind of monetary gain from this, so come on in and just be part of the channel. Just be respectful. That's all I ask. Don't call anybody names. Don't get into arguments in the chat, and try to be respectful. That's all I ask. Here we go with another story from DFW.
Battle with Dallas police is now out of the hospital and behind bars.
Body camera footage shows the rolling shootout between officers and 23-year-old Reginald Curry over the weekend. It happened when officers say they interrupted the robbery of an illegal gaming room in Dallas's Redbird neighborhood. We warn you, some of what you are about to see could be tough to watch. Fox 4's Blake Hansen.
Surveillance footage inside what police say was an illegal gaming operation shows what triggered a 911 call around 12:30 Sunday morning. As officers arrived, a man walking out the back door tells police the robbery is still ongoing.
Are y'all being robbed? Are they inside?
Yeah. As a group of officers heads into the back, other officers swoop around the front to see a man, later identified as 23-year-old Reginald Curry, bolt out the front door. A squad car captures Curry pointing a gun at officers.
Right there. There is the perpetrator pointing the gun at officers. April, thank you for that. I said it's not required, and then you give me $1.99. Thank you so much. Thank you. And I'm more flattered for everything you just said there. You do a great job. Thank you.
As he runs into the park.
And right there, you can clearly see that he's holding up his pants and he's pointing the gun at the officers. So at this point, you have to ask yourself, if you are one of the individuals that is an officer looking at this situation, you have nothing but seconds to make that call. He has a gun. He's pointing it at you. Is it a real gun? Obviously, you don't have that time to really disdain that. So let's see what happens.
Parking lot. Body-worn camera footage captures what happens next.
Hey, get out on the ground. Hey, Scotty. Charlie 723, shots fired, shots fired. Charlie 723, shots fired.
The gunfire continues as officers take cover.
There he goes. Charlie 723, he's running toward the Taco Bell. It's going to be a heavy set black man in a black hoodie. He is armed and he is shooting.
Officers then give chase and catch up to Curry as he runs toward a Wendy's parking lot. They continue to give commands even though shots have already been fired.
Show me your hands! Show me your hands!
Video eventually shows
Wow.
officers move in on Curry down outside the fast food restaurant.
Both hands, keep them where we can see them. We will shoot again.
Curry tells officers he shot in multiple areas, and officers begin medical care as soon as they remove a gun from his pants.
Show me where it's at. I got to turn and get.
Although no officers were injured, it did not mean there were not some close calls.
Felt the bullet go right past my head.
This is the first officer-involved shooting involving a Dallas police officer in 2024.
In a video statement released by Dallas police officers shared that multiple officers struck Curry.
Officers gave loud commands for Curry to drop his weapon. Curry refused and continued to fire at officers. All officers returned fire, hitting the suspect in the leg and chest area.
You know, I am all for body cameras because it gives you a perspective that we wouldn't see otherwise. You wouldn't just, let's see another one. That was the same one. It gives you a perspective that a lot of other areas in the crime you wouldn't get to see. You wouldn't get to see. God, there's a lot of them. I like watching these because it's not like watching cops. You actually get to see the actual event go down. You know what I mean? It's not one of those cops type shows, you know? Here we go. If you live in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, you know where does it say? Llewellyn Drive Avenue?
This is the fifth officer-involved shooting involving a Dallas police officer in 2022. Gathered surveillance camera footage will be shown at the end of this presentation. On August 20th, 2022, at approximately 2:05 a.m., Dallas police officer Keenan Blair was working an off-duty job at 216 South Llewellyn Avenue, the 216 Lounge. Across the street from the business, 31-year-old Cesar Hernandez was involved in a negative interaction with two suspects, 30-year-old Lou Guerra and 18-year-old Edward Hernandez, who were passengers inside a dark-colored GMC pickup in the Fiesta parking lot. As the suspect's vehicle drove from the parking lot, they shot Cesar Hernandez in the stomach. Officer Blair fired 3 shots from his department-issued weapon at the suspect to protect Hernandez. Hernandez was taken to the hospital and underwent surgery for his injuries. Suspects Guerra and Edward Hernandez both arrived at a local hospital with injuries that were consistent with bullet fractures.
Okay, here's the video. He was kind of given just an update on it. There's the GMC truck. And they're outside the Fiesta. And look, there's somebody hanging out the window right there. Somebody shot in the stomach, he says. These individuals, these 3 individuals in the circle, pay attention to them because I guess they're going to be the ones in the altercation. There's the police right there. Or maybe that isn't the police. That's just somebody with a weapon. That is just something. I mean, it's almost not safe anymore to go out after dark. I don't know if that's due to my age or whatever, but I don't know. I try to stay away from these type of places But I'm not foolish. I'm not foolish enough to think that this couldn't happen anywhere. Even the most secure, higher level areas have faced all this. Movie theaters. Let's go to somewhere. Let's go to San Antonio. Here they got a lot of shootings as well. Let's see what this one looks like. Here we go. It says San Antonio police responding to a disturbance call that ended with the shooting of a 46-year-old woman holding a hammer. And you're so right, April. A lot of kids, it's not safe at all anywhere anymore. You're right. You're so right. Here we go.
Hey, lady, get over here.
This is in San Antonio. Says Melissa Perez locked herself in her apartment after officers approached, threw a glass candle at them, and was seen grabbing a hammer. The last thing you should ever do when police are near you is grab a weapon. Hey, Jeff, how you doing, buddy?
You're gonna get shot.
Shoot me.
So she threw a glass candle at them and grabbed a hammer. It said as officers climbed onto the patio, Perez ran forward and shattered the window with the hammer, and one of the officers fired several shots.
Hey, hold on.
You ain't got no warrant.
Let's go. Move. Go. Hey, watch out. Back up.
See, that's the difference in this video compared to the video that we just watched. They were unloading a clip on somebody with a hammer. I do not approve of this video. I don't. I'm not, for two reasons. This lady was older, 46 years old. That's not old by any means, but she was grabbing a hammer. She did not have a weapon like a gun, a shotgun, or anything like that. The first officer striking her should have been enough. They went overboard on this one, if you ask my opinion.
You ain't got no warrant.
Okay. 3 of the officers involved have been charged with murder. I agree with that wholeheartedly. Let me know what you think in the chat, because I think this is overkill and this is bullshit. This is a different perspective on what we just watched. We had an individual in a parking lot with a weapon, and they weren't unloading the clip. The officer chasing him was not unloading his clip. He was having fire returned to him, and he still was not overkilling. Yeah, she was inside. She wasn't coming at them. Good Lord. That is awful. That is awful. I do not agree with that at all. Let me subscribe to these guys. And this is shoots a man at a storage facility. Let's see what this
San Antonio police have released body camera footage showing the moments officers shot a man they say was in the middle of burglarizing a storage unit last month. While we won't show the moment officers shot the suspect, this footage may still be disturbing to some of you.
Hey! Drop the gun! Drop the gun now! Drop the gun!
This happened October 17th around 10 o'clock at a storage facility in the 8700 block of Fredericksburg Road. Officers say they were responding to a burglary in progress call. When they got there, they found the...
Okay, that guy has a gun on him right there. You can kind of see they blurred it out, but at that point, let's look at this. Okay, let's look at this objectively. Let me read this. Let me put this up there first. It says, if you ever watched a civil rights lawyer, there's some outstandingly horrific action. Yes, I agree. I agree with that. Not every action is justifiable. And that's why when people say, well, you're just siding with the police or you're just siding with this, no, I'm not. A lot of this is either by the books or it's not. Like right here, if you, like I've been saying, they're giving him command to drop the weapon. At this point, he is not a harm to either one of them because the weapon obviously is not pointed at them. So the moment he raises his arms, he is making a deadly gesture. So we got to keep that in mind. Let's watch the rest of this.
Suspect inside a unit. In the footage, 58-year-old Richard Asbell appears to point a gun at the officers and fires at least 3 shots before he was then shot by an officer.
Okay, so he supposedly shot 3 times. So his him being disposed of would have made more sense than the lady with the hammer. That just makes me sick. Taken to the hospital following the shooting, charged with 4 counts of aggravated assault.
Asbell was taken to the hospital and charged with 4 counts of aggravated assault of a public servant. The officer who fired was identified by the department as Aaron Herrera, a probationary officer with less than 1 year of experience.
Wow.
He's been placed on administrative leave as the investigation continues.
See, I am in that line of work myself. That would be like me breaking into a storage unit, having a gun on me, and then, wow. That is crazy. That is crazy. See, there's a lot of things that do happen in this world that you shake your head at and you ask yourself, okay, well, what went wrong in this situation? Well, that was all the way around wrong. He probably was looking through an ex-wife or something like that. Who knows?
Thank you. New attend.
But obviously that one turned out better than the one that we just watched. And I'll have to watch that. Is that a YouTube channel? If it is, then I will start subbing to them and watching them.
San Antonio police released body cam footage of the fatal shooting of a man who opened fire on his family and a TV news crew. According to SAPD, the suspect is identified as Eduardo Amezquita. This was on Noria Street, and he started firing his gun. Police say Amezquita then ran toward another home with people inside. They got out, and police say he ran ran to the shed and back. Officers were trying to lock him out of the house to make it easier to arrest him. That's when officials say he shot at police. 5 officers opened fire, killing Amezquita. The district attorney's...
See, look at that hole in that door. You're telling me that you get hit by that, you're going to live. Whether that was coming out or whether it was going in, it looks like it was coming out because the glass is shattered outward, not the other way around. Now, if it was going in, if this was a police shot, you would have noticed a lot more fragmented glass on the outside. It looks like it was blasting out. So that's a hell of a shot coming out of that home. And many people say, well, they should wait and see what's going on. Well, these people can wait. I don't know about you. I am not going to sit there and wait and see what's going on, especially with a shot coming out that door with that big of a hole. Because if it does that to that window pane, think what it's going to do to your body. Do y'all agree or disagree?
His office is investigating the incident.
Man. Let's see. Let's go to another one. These are interesting, man. I should have done this a long time ago. Suspended for 5 days in June after repeatedly saying, okay, that's another one too. Let's look at this.
Tonight, we're seeing what got a San Antonio police officer suspended for 5 days. The officer in question here was accused of violating SAPD procedures while responding to an incident.
Yeah, it all takes place within a 4-minute span. He cursed at least 19 times at a man on the scene. Take a listen to this.
The reason why we're here is because somebody called in a suspicious vehicle. The window was rolled down. Looks suspicious here. I'm not done talking.
Everybody in the complex knows that that's my vehicle. I know everybody in this building.
I don't give a who you know. I don't give a who knows you. We gotta.
See, that's one thing that I don't understand, and I'm not for it either. If you can't communicate a lot better with people, I understand you gotta kind of get down to their language before they respond to you. But you know what? You can do it without cussing. I mean, if you can't communicate a lot better than that, I don't know what to tell this guy. Maybe you need to go back to some training.
Call for somebody saying that the vehicle looks suspicious.
That was Officer Eric Padilla speaking to the car owner of what he called a suspicious vehicle that police were called to check out. This incident is from back in April. We watched the full body cam video from Padilla and his fellow officer, Jaron Falcone, who was responding with him that day.
So while the officers were checking out the reported suspicious vehicle, the car's alarm went off as they opened the door. And that's when the car's owner came onto his apartment balcony to turn the alarm off. He started yelling at the officers to try and figure out what was going on. And then a few minutes later, the car's owner came downstairs and then spoke with Padilla and Falcone. Now, he tried to tell the officers that he was having issues with his vehicle, and that's why it was parked on the side of the street instead of within the apartment complex.
And while early on in the footage, you can hear Padilla tell Falcone that this was his call and he could take the lead. Padilla still did most of the talking in this incident.
Did I commit a crime?
Look, mother, I'm telling you.
I'm not telling you right now. Did I commit a crime?
I'm telling you. Go back inside your apartment. Nothing else is going to happen with your
Is my vehicle going to be towed?
While we only shared parts of the body cam footage with you, it is important to note the car owner started the interaction with police by saying a cuss word when he was talking to them from the balcony.
So according to the suspension paperwork, Officer Padilla violated SAPD's rule about being courteous and respectful when dealing with the public and not acting in a way that made him or the department look bad. It also went on to say that the nature of the call did not justify the use of cuss words and that it unnecessarily escalated the situation. Padilla was suspended from June 5th through June 9th.
Okay, this next video I'm going to show you, it's about a family member. He would be my second cousin, I guess, because my first cousin, this is her son, or was her son. This takes place in Austin, and this kind of goes along with the baby one that we just showed a while ago. So this is two relatives that had died in Austin of mine. One was a faraway relative, I guess, in the Lady Bird Lake killing. His name was Martin Gutierrez, and this individual was killed by an off-duty officer. So let's watch this.
Has cleared a former Austin police officer, Gabriel Gutierrez, in a civil wrongful death lawsuit. That is according to sources familiar with the court proceedings. This lawsuit relates to the 2021 police shooting of Alex Gonzalez.
And the department says Gonzalez allegedly cut off Gutierrez, who was off duty at the time, and then pointed a gun at him. Another officer arrived and shot Gonzalez as he was reaching.
See, that's what happened. He cut off an off-duty officer that was coming from the gym and then pointed a gun at him. He had a baby in the back seat, his girlfriend, the baby's mother in the front seat, and he got out and they were telling him to stay on the ground, to stop. That is my cousin's son right here, Alex. And he goes toward the back of the seat. He's already pointed a gun at the officer. I'm not saying this was unjustified. He should have just stayed down on the ground. What ended up happening is they shot at him. He opened the door, and part of the glass hit the baby, and a ricochet hit the baby's mother. They both lived, but Alex was pronounced deceased at the scene.
into the back seat of his car and ignoring commands. The officers involved never faced criminal charges. The department also cleared them of wrongdoing in the internal investigation.
You can learn more about this case in this story over at KXAN.com. We also reached out.
Let me see if there's a body cam footage of this. My cousin has been, I think they since have came to a lawsuit. They awarded them so much money. That's not the one I want. Let's see.
Thanks for joining us tonight. We begin KVU News at 6 with breaking news.
Turn around, walk.
Yeah, this is the one that I saw.
Keep walking. Walk away from the car. Now, turn around. Stop.
See right there? Alex is right there behind the car. The officers have already responded. The off-duty cop has gotten out. Alex is behind the car right here, right above the B. And they're telling them to get on the ground.
Halt them.
Two Austin police officers involved in a deadly shooting in Southeast Austin 2 years ago will not face.
Look at the gunshots. The baby was in the back seat. So that's a gunshot right there. So there must have been an officer shooting at him from across the street. That is a huge ass hole. I mean, people do not have the understanding of what a gunshot can do to a body. They have this thing that it's just going to shoot them and they're going to hop up and be all right. But look at that gunshot.
Any disciplinary action in the death of Alex Gonzalez. Thanks for joining us. I'm Brian May.
And I'm Quita Culpepper. Today was the deadline for Austin Police Chief Joseph Chacon to decide whether two APD officers should be disciplined for the deadly shooting of Alex Gonzalez. Before we get into today's decision, we want to give you the background and some facts in this case and take you back to the night Gonzalez died.
Put your hands up.
This is body camera video from January 5th, 2021. It shows Alexander Gonzalez out of his car and injured after he was shot by Officer Gabriel Gutierrez. Gutierrez was off duty that night. Gutierrez called 911 moments earlier to say he shot Gonzalez when Gonzalez pointed a gun at him on Wickersham Lane. There's no video of the shooting because Gutierrez was in his personal car. A short
So you could see my cousin on the ground, or my family member. I'm not even sure what I would call him. He's my cousin, but second.
as was in his personal car.
Like you can see him right here on the ground.
A short time later, uniformed on-duty officers arrived. Those officers pointed their guns at Gonzalez as he walked to the back of his car and then around to the rear.
See, he should have just got down. And this is for anybody watching. I want you to know that when a police officer gives you the directive to get on the ground, especially if you have a weapon of any sort, you do as they say, especially if their guns are pointed at you. They are not messing around. So that gunshot obviously probably came from this officer or some officer over here that was shooting. That's how bad his shot was. He hit the window. I don't know if he shot him or not, but
Passenger side of the vehicle. There was a woman and a baby in the car with him. The woman was also shot and injured.
see, I don't know why he's limping like that. He should have just got down on the ground. He was going back to shut the door. The baby was in the back. And he was going back to shut the door. It just sat all the way around. I've talked to my cousin about it. I've talked to her daughter. I just don't understand the whole dynamics of the case.
You can see her on the ground. Officer Luis Serrato and another officer repeatedly tell Gonzalez not to reach inside the car. It's unclear if they knew there was a baby inside. When Gonzalez did reach inside, Officer Serrato fired his gun.
I guess, see, I've heard multiple stories. I've heard that he was reaching in to get the baby out, to get on the ground. But still, there's no reason for him to reach in. The baby is safe. He should have got on the ground with his girlfriend, and maybe this wouldn't have happened. I mean, you reach into somewhere, you need to just get on the ground, bro. Sad. Sad.
Last month, a Travis County grand jury chose not to indict officers Gabriel Gutierrez and Luis Serrato, meaning both men would not face criminal charges. All right, let's talk more about today's decision by Austin's police chief.
Senior reporter Tony Plahetsky joins us here at the desk with more on APD's decision today. Hey, Tony.
And what's so striking, Brian and Quita, is that of all the people who have viewed all of the evidence in this case, there is such a range of opinions that we are seeing coming forth from all of the information that they have seen. A citizens review panel for the Austin Office of Police Oversight recommended they be fired. The director of that office recommended only that Officer Gutierrez be fired, but that Officer Serrato receive counseling and guidance. So again, there is a big range of opinions in this case. In his statement this evening, Chief Chacon said Officer Gutierrez, quote, acted as a private citizen who defended himself in the face of a deadly threat, and that, quote, Officer Serrato's action in response to the incident were in accordance with APD's policies and training. We have reached out to the family of Alex Gonzalez, which has been increasingly vocal in recent weeks. They say that they believe that police shot and killed him at that moment that he was reaching in the back of his car to check on his child, Brian and Quita. So again, lots of different reactions and opinions among a wide range of people who have.
Well, let me show you the video. I think my cousin made a video. Let's see if, here we go.
Alex was not only caring, but attentive and always put other people before him.
Corinna Boston Penales only remembers good things about her cousin Alex Gonzalez.
Very caring and giving person.
Gonzalez was killed in an officer-involved shooting 4 months ago on Wickersham Lane. According to police, Gonzalez was driving with his girlfriend and infant child when he cut off an off-duty police officer. A witness captured this video from the encounter back in January.
Put your hands up! Hey, hands up, man!
The officer claims Gonzalez had a gun, so he shot at him. A responding officer also fired his weapon.
Multiple rounds were fired by the officer.
Gonzalez was killed that night. Last week, the family was set to watch the police body cam footage from that night for the first time ever.
It's not something that you want to ever live your whole life anticipating having to view.
But instead of getting to watch the video and hopefully get the answers they've been longing for,
the meeting was canceled less than 24-hour notice.
Austin police released this statement saying the chief had determined that additional delay is needed and that they would not be releasing the video as planned. They plan to release the footage no later than May 4th. The family says this isn't the first time police have delayed the video.
Considering that this is the second rescheduling, it's exhausting, and I feel like it's a method that they are accustomed to in order to wear down the community that they're supposed to serve.
Now Penales says the family has to wait once again to
see. This is my cousin Elizabeth, his mother. So she was the one that was actively protesting against the police and telling the, making meetings and stuff like that. So she was actively out there, fighting for her son. She is my cousin.
See the video she admits they really don't want to see, but have to in order to get the answers they've been waiting for.
Now we have to wait more than a month.
Well, thank you so much for being here. I hope you continue to come back and let people know about the channel. Thank you for your super chat, and I'll be looking for you in the chat from here on out. Thank you so much. Have fun putting that together.
Further down the road to see what those compromises were from the officers' ends. Simply exhausts our family more than the exhaustion of this circumstance has.
Once again, that lawsuit had been settled. I'm not certain what the outcome was, but I think that they were able to reach a settlement that both sides could live with. Well, I hope you guys have enjoyed today's variation of true crime, focusing on the great state of Texas. If you are from Texas, or even if you're not from Texas, these are some of the cities that have a lot of violent crime, and I could go on and on and on and on, showing multitudes of crime police cams from these videos, and I might do that from here on out to change the pace on this true crime genre. Because, to be honest, unless the next big case comes along, there's really nothing out there to be reporting on. I've done a lot of reporting on other cases on my channel, and you can also go and check out some of the different variations of true crime that I've highlighted across many multitudes of the country. I hope you do that, and I hope that you let people know about the channel. I've been around for about 2.5 years now, I guess. And I specifically focused on the Idaho 4 case for a while I was going to get my bachelor's in criminal justice. And I was using that case as a learning tool to understand not only what I was learning, but to understand the differences in the correct way and the incorrect way of criminal justice and the procedures that were within that realm. But take a look at the library. There's plenty of stuff for you guys to enjoy. And I think I will go for today. Once again, my name is 12 Gauge, and welcome and thank you. Hope to see you again soon. Maestro, cue that music.